Hello dear students, welcome to my channel. So today we are going to start with the new chapter, that is section formula. So without further delay, I would like to start the section formula. Imagine there are 2 points. Okay, so A whose coordinate is x1 y1, and we have got one more, that is B whose coordinate is x2 y2. So we are assuming that we know x1 y1, x2 y2. Is that clear? Now let me join them with a straight line. Now in the line segment AB, I am going to put one point and let me call this to be P. Okay, and I am taking the coordinate to be x and y, which are unknown to me. Is that clear? Now my aim is to find what is the coordinate x and what is the coordinate y. Is that clear? Now I am assuming that this P is dividing this line segment AB in the ratio m1 is to m2. That is from here to here, that is AP is m1, okay, and PB is m2. Okay, so the ratio is m1 is to m2. Fine. So if this thing happens, then what is the coordinate of x and what is the coordinate of y? That's what we are going to find. Okay, so using section formula, the coordinates of P, that is x and y, are given by this formula. Okay, so you may pause the video to note down. Okay, let's go to the first problem, that is calculate the coordinate of the point P which divides the line segment joining. Okay, so there are two questions given. I'll do number 1, number 2 you will try by yourself. Okay, so let's begin with the first one. So here the coordinates of A and B are given to you 1, 3, and B is 5, 2, and m1 is to m2 is given to be 1 is to 2. Okay, so A and B are given, so the coordinate of A is given to be 1, 3, and for B it is 5, 9. Okay, and there's a point P. Okay, and this point is dividing AB in the ratio 1 is to 2. Okay, so let me call the point to be x, y. So our aim is to find the value of x and find the value of y. So let us compare this with the section formula. So we know that the coordinate of A was taken to be x1, y1, and the coordinate of B was taken to be x2, y2. Okay, so this is my x1, this is my y1, this is my x2, this is my y2. This is my m1 and this is my m2. Okay, so let the coordinate of P be x, y. So all these things are given. Now we know that x is calculated using this formula. Yes. So what is the value of m1? So the value of m1 is 1. What is x2? x2 is 5, right? So m2 is 2 and x1 is 1. Okay, so please remember this. So m1 and m2 we already know. So let us put the values. So if I put, see, m1 is how much? 1. x2 is 5. So 1 into 5 plus is there, plus m2 is 2, right? x1 is 1. So 2 into 1. Fine. So divide by m1 plus m2, that is 1 plus 2. Fine. So let us simplify this. 5 into 1 is 5 plus 2 into 1 is 2. 1 plus 2 is 3. So simplify this, you will get 7 by 3. Okay, now we have found the value of x. Let's find the value of y in the same manner. So the value of y can be found out using this formula. We know the value of m1, right? m1 is 1, m2 is 2, y2 is 9, and y1 is 3. So if I put the values, then I'll get, after simplification, 5. Okay, so you can check out the simplification part. Now I found the value of x, I found the value of y. So therefore the coordinates of P are x, that is 7 by 3, y, that is 5. Okay, so this gives you the coordinate of P for question number 1. Similarly, you will try question number 2 by yourself. Pause the video to note down. Okay, let's go to the next question. In what ratio is the line joining 2, -3 and 5, 6 divided by the x-axis? So to understand this question, we will take a graph sheet. Okay, so let me plot 2, -3. So 2, -3 lies somewhere over there. Similarly, we have 5, 6 lying somewhere over there. Now I'm calling this point to be A and I'm calling this point to be B. Fine. So let me join them with the straight line. Fine. Now this is my line segment AB. According to question, in what ratio is the line joining these 2 points, that is line AB, divided by the x-axis? That means this x-axis is dividing the line segment AB. So question is asking in what ratio is the x-axis dividing this line segment AB. Fine. So this line segment AB is intersected by this x-axis at this point, right? So let me call this point to be P, and obviously since this is lying in the x-axis, okay, the value of y, we call it ordinate as well, right? So the value of ordinate is 0. Okay, since it is lying exactly in the x-axis, the value of y will always be 0. So that's why I'm taking ordinate to be 0, and let me take this distance, okay, that's OP, to be x. Fine. Okay, so having understood this much, we are asked to find the ratio of this one, that is AP is to PB, that is M1 is to M2. Okay, so we are asked to find M1 is to M2. Okay, so let's begin. So let the point P x, 0 divide in the ratio M1 is to M2, as I said, line joining points A and B. Fine. So whatever I have said from the diagram, same thing is written here. Now we know that we can calculate the coordinates of P using these 2 formula, right? So these are my section formula. So let us identify what is my M1, M2, X1, X2, Y1, Y2. We will identify all these quantities. Fine. So the coordinate of A, that is 2 and minus 3 are X1, Y1. This is my X2, Y2. Okay, this is my X and this is my Y, right? So this X represents this X, okay, this Y represents this 0. Hope this thing is clear to you. So let's begin. Okay, so let me put the values. So M1 we don't know, X2 is 5, yes, coordinate of B. Okay, M2 we don't know, X1 is the coordinate of A. Fine. So 5 M1 into 5 is 5M1 plus 2 into M2 is 2M2 plus divided by M1 plus M2. So this is your value for X1. Sorry, this is your value for this X. Okay. Now from this, what is the value of Y? Y is equals to 0, right? So Y is equals to 0. So if I do that, then I have M1, that is M1, Y2 is 6, right, plus M2. And what's Y1? Y1 is minus 3 divided by M1 plus M2, right? And this full thing is equals to how much? 0, because the value of Y is equals to 0. Okay, so let us simplify this. So 6 into M1 is 6M1 plus into minus is minus, 3 into M2 is 3M2 divided by M1 plus M2. If I do the cross multiplication, then this and 0 gets multiplied to get 0. So basically 6M1 minus 3M2 will be equals to 0, right? So take this 3M2 over there, so you'll get this much, right? So get this M2 to the denominator and get the 6 to the denominator. So you'll get M1 by M2 equals to 3 by 6. So when you cancel 3 and 6, you'll get 1 by 2. That is M1 by M2 is equals to 1 by 2. Means M1 is 2, M2 is 1 is to 2. Okay, so we are asked to find the value of M1 is to M2, which we are found in. So pause the video. Okay, so the next sum is easy. Okay, so it's quite similar to the earlier problem, so you will do this by yourself. Let's go to the other question. So in what ratio does the point 1 comma A divide the join of these two? That is, this is my A and this is my B, okay, and this is my P. Okay, so this P is dividing the line segment joining these two. So the question is again asking the same. In what ratio does this point is dividing the line segment joining these 2 points? So after finding the ratio, you need to calculate the value of A as well. So let's begin. Okay, so the case is somewhat like this. Yes, so A and B are given. So that is, this is my x1 y1, this is my x2 y2. So there's a point P whose coordinate is 1 comma A. Okay, and I'm considering that P is dividing AB in the ratio M1 is to M2, like earlier problem. Now let's begin. So whatever I have said, same thing is written here. Okay, so again we know that X is calculated using this particular formula. right? Okay, so let's put back the values. So what is the value of x? Value of x is 1, right? Okay, m1 is, we don't know, m1 and m2. What is x2? x2 is 4. What is x1? x1 is -1. So if I put these values, then I'll get this much. So x is 1, m1 I don't know, x2 is 4, x1 is -1. Okay, so simplify this, you'll get 4m1 plus into minus is minus m2. Okay, so 4m1 minus m2, and if you do the cross multiplication, so 1 into m1 plus m2 will be m1 plus m2 equals to 4m1 minus m2. Okay, now we'll take m1 to one side and m2 to other side. So if I do that, then I have this much, right? So 4m1 is kept here, this m1 comes here, becomes minus m1, okay, and we have m2 here, this m2 goes over there, becomes plus m2. Simplify this, you'll get 3m1 equals to 2m2. As I said earlier, we'll take m2 to the denominator, and this 3 also goes to the denominator. Okay, so if I do that, then I'll get m1 by m2 equals to 2 by 3. That is, m1 is to m2 is 2 is to 3. So we got the value of our first answer, that is the ratio. In what ratio does this point divide the joiner? This one. So my answer is 2 is to 3. Now next part is to find the value of a. Okay, now if you see here, in this problem we have made use of only this part, this formula. We have not made use of the other formula, that is y equals to m1 y2 plus m2 y1 divided by m1 plus m2. We have not made use of that formula, so let's make use of that formula. Okay, that is this formula to find the value of a. Now what is y? Y is the coordinate of p, that is a. Okay, so the value of y is a, and similarly m1 is known to us, that is 2, m2 is known, that is 3, right? Y2 is how much? -1, y1 is 4. So if I put those formula, okay, then the value is turning to be 2. Okay, so what is the value of a? The value of a is 2. Okay, so you pause the video to note down. Okay, let's move on to the next question. That's question number 8. Okay, so question number 4 we have already seen. 5, 6, 7 you will try by yourself. So let's move on to the question number 8. So points A, B, C and D divide the line segment joining 5 minus 10 and the origin in 5 equal parts. Okay, so you need to find the coordinates of A, B, C and D. Now what is the meaning of question? Let's try to understand using the diagram. So the two coordinates are given. One is 5, minus 10 and the other one is origin. Now origin is written as 0, 0. So 2 points are given. So let me call this point as P, and the another point we always represent origin as O. Okay, so this is given to be 0, 0. Okay, now I am joining these 2 points. Now these 2 points are marked by these 4 points A, B, C and D, which are lying at equidistant. Okay, so these are my 4 points A, B, C and D. Okay, now according to the question, these 4 points are dividing this line segment into 5 equal parts. Okay, that means 1, 2, 3, 4 and 5. So we have got 5 equal parts which is divided by these 4 points. Okay, so you need to calculate the coordinates of A, B, C and D. Okay, so let's see how to do this. Now to calculate this coordinate, that is coordinate of A, if I take this to be 1, this is also 1, this also 1, this also 1, this also 1. So altogether from here to here, that is AO is going to be how much? It will be 4 and PA will be 1. So what is the ratio in which A is dividing the line segment PO? It is 1 is to 4. Okay, this is 1 and from here to here is 4. So M1 is to M2 is 1 is to 4. Okay, so we have in the first case, let the coordinate of A be xy. Okay, so I am assuming the coordinate of this to be xy, which divides the PO, that is this line segment, into the ratio 1 is to 4, as I said earlier. Fine. Now this is my x1 y1. Okay, this is my x2 y2. Okay, and make sure wherever is x1 y1, that side I have m1, wherever I have x2 y2, that side I have m2. So m1 is 1, m2 is 4. Okay, so 5 is x1, minus 10 is y1, x2 is 0, y2 is also 0. So the coordinate of x, that is this one, this is given by this formula. And what is m1? M1 is 1, m2 is 4. Okay, so let's put the values. Okay, so m1 is 1, m2 is 4, x2 is 0, x1 is 5, right? So when you simplify this, you will get this to be 4. Fine. Similarly, we'll find the value for y. Okay, so y is calculated using this formula. So let us put the values. So m1 is again 1, m2 is 4, y2 is 0, y1 is minus 10. So if you put the values, you will get y to be minus 8. So that means what is the coordinate of a? It is xy, which is given by 4 comma minus 8. Okay, so you may pause the video to note down this part. Okay, the next part, that is to find the coordinate of b. What you can do is you can take pb to be 2 and you can take bo to be 3, right? From here to here is 2 and from here to here is 3. So m1 is to m2 is going to be this time 2 is to 3. Okay, so similarly you will do the same way and you will complete it by yourself. Okay, so the next question is question number 10. P is a point lying on the line joining AB. Okay, A and B are given 4, 3 and minus 2, 6, and this is also happening. Now you need to calculate P. Now since we are doing section formula, we need the coordinates of 2 points which are already mentioned, and one more thing we need is m1 is to m2, that is the ratio. Okay, now the ratio has to be calculated from this part. How? Let's see. So this is given to me. So 5 AP is equals to 2 BP. Okay, now AP by BP or PB, right? So if you take this there, this 5 goes to the denominator, so you'll get 2 by 5. That is AP is to PB is how much? 2 is to 5. So we already found the ratio as well. So the case is somewhat like this. A is given, whose coordinate is given, B is given, right? And P is a point, and AP is to PB is given to be 2 is to 5. Okay, so this is my x1, y1, x2, y2, m1 is to m2. Fine. So you are asked to find the coordinate of x and y. Now so it's very simple. Use section formula, right? So m1 is 2, m2 is 5, x1 is 4, x2 is minus 2, y1 is 3, y2 is 6. Put the values and arrive at this one. Okay, similarly put the values and arrive at these two. So the value of x is 16 by 7, value of y is 27 by 7. So that's why the coordinate of P is 16 by 7 comma 27 by 7. So you may pause the video to note down. Okay, now let's move on to the next question. So calculate the ratio in which the line joining these 2 points is divided by the line x equals to 2. So let me take a graph paper and let me draw the line x equals to 2. So x equals to 2 represents a line which is parallel to y-axis and which is lying at a distance of 2, right? So this is x equals to 2. Here is x equals to 1. This is x equals to 2. Okay, so this is my x equals to 2, and let me plot these 2 points on the coordinate axis. So I have got minus 3, minus 1 lying over here, and 5, 7 lying over here. Okay, so let me join them. Fine. Now according to the question, this line x equals to 2 is intersecting at this point, right? So this point of intersection is dividing the line segment AB. Okay, according to question, find in which ratio does this line intersect this line segment AB. Okay, so let me take this point. Okay, so let me take this point to be P. Okay, now what is the x distance? It is 2, right? So that's why the abscissa of this point P is going to be 2. And what is the y distance? We cannot say directly. Okay, we cannot say directly. So let me take that height, that is y distance, to be y. Okay, so this is my point of intersection. So as I said, my abscissa is going to be 2 and my y distance is going to be y. Is that clear? Okay, now let me assume the ratio in which this P is dividing to be m1 is to m2. Fine. Okay, so we have, as I said, whatever I said, it is written here. Now again, let me apply see, this is m1, this is m2, so that's why this has to be x1 y1 and this has to be x2 y2. Fine. So if I use section formula here, m1 x2 is 5, right, plus m2 x1 is minus 3. Okay, divide by m1 plus m2, right? And what is the value of x here? The value of x here is 2, right? So if I write 2 here and simplify this, I'll get 5m1 minus 3m2 divided this much. So do the cross multiplication. So you will get 2 into m1, 2m1 plus 2 into m2 is 2m2 equals to 5m1 minus 3m2. Is that clear? So similarly, take m1 to one side, m2 to other side, and find m1 by m2. Fine. So I am seeing that m1 by m2 is 5 by 3. That is, m1 is to m2 is going to be 5 is to 3. So we have founded the first part, that is the ratio. Okay, so we have founded the ratio. Now we'll find the coordinate of this. That means we already know the value of x, right? So we'll find the value of y. So we have made use of only one formula, right? So the other formula is this one, right? So y equals to m1 y2, right? So m1 is 5, y2 is 7, plus m1 is m2, that is m2 is 3, into x1, y1 is minus 1, divided by m1 plus m2. Okay, so simplify this, you will get y equals to 4. Okay, so therefore the coordinates will be 2 comma y, that is y is 4. So you may pause the video to note down. Okay, let's go to the last question for the day. So question 13, the point P, that is 5 comma minus 4, divides the line segment AB as shown in the figure in the ratio 2:5. So this is my line segment AB which is dividing. Okay, so this is my line segment AB which is divided by P in the ratio 2:5. So we cannot say this is 2 and this is 5, because if we read this way, this is BA, but it is dividing line segment AB. So that's why we have to read this way. So that's why 2:5 means this will be 2 and this will be 5. Okay, and if I have to write the coordinate of this, since it is lying on the x-axis, the y value, that is ordinate, will be 0 here. Fine. So let me call this to be x comma 0, since it is not moving towards y, so that's why I am taking y value to be 0. Okay, now similarly the coordinate of B can be written as 0 comma y. That means it is not moving towards x, right? So it is not moving towards x, so that's why it has to be 0. Okay, so let me take the coordinates to be x comma 0 for this, right? And the coordinate of B, that is 0 comma y. Okay, and this is being divided in the ratio 2:5. So that's why, as I said, this will be 2 and this will be 5. Okay, now we know that x is calculated using this, right? That is this one. So what is the value of x here? X is 5. So this is 5, right? And this is my x1 y1. This is m1 m2. This is x1 y1. This is x2 y2. Okay, so x is 5 here, right? M1 is how much? 2. X2 is how much? 0. X1 is how much? X. Okay, so don't get confused with this. So if I put the values, then 2 into 0 is 0. 5 into x is 5. So 2 plus 5 is 7, right? So we are getting 5x by 7 equals to 5, right? So if I do the cross multiplication, I'll get 5x, 0 plus 5x is 5x, and divided by 1 is there, so 5x into 1 is 5x, 5 into 7 is 35. Okay, calculate the value of x, you'll get 7. Is that clear? So we found the value of x. Fine. Now we have made use of only one formula here. Let's make use of this formula again. Okay, now what is the value of y? Y is minus 4. Okay, m1 and m2 we already know, that is 2:5. y2 is how much? Y2 is y. y1 is how much? It is 0. So if I put the values, then 5 into 0 is 0, 2 into y is 2y, right? So we'll again do the cross multiplication, and minus 4 into 7 gives me minus 28. So 2y is equals to minus 28. So what is the value of y from here? It is minus 14. So we found the coordinate of B, right? So the coordinates of A are 7, 0, right? So x is 7, so that's why 7, 0, and coordinate of b is 0, -14, as y is -14. Okay, so we'll continue our sums on this particular exercise in the next video. Thank you very much.